Don't blow your load too early on these fight fantasies.
But don't feel free to blow your load, because let's have a full go and see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've involved back with the Rugbybru quarantine studio, and this coming to you is the first time we're doing the official Rugbybru Fight Fantasy episode. And before we proceed, first official guest, please introduce yourself.
I thought you might introduce me.
Jeez, eh? What is your host, eh?
Wow,
Kurt,
be waiting, you
Rubber.
must be masturbating.
Is he looking for a fight?
Bring it on. Bring it on, bro. All right, we got Rubber. Skinny
Welcome,
Dibs.
the one and only Rubs.
Skinny Dibs on the decks. Rubber stamped. Let's rock and roll. So,
Let's do
Rubs, welcome to the official Rugbybru studio. Because you're the guest, I'll give you the first go. What's your ultimate fantasy rugby fight?
Well, I was thinking about this today, and for me, I would love to see Oz Durant and Ollie LaRue.
I know. You stuck to it, eh? That would be brilliant. I feel like, yeah, see, I just, that's such a fair, even fight. I feel like they'd both just die at the end of it. They'll fight each other until they both die.
I want to know is who's going to eat the most pies? And that's how you deem your winner.
They already ate all the pies.
Who do you think wins, PJ?
I reckon Ollie LaRue seems like more of a chill guy, like more of a joker, a beast at heart, where Osterrand is just a hard Dutchman that will not die. So my money's on Osterrand. I'll back him in that fight every day. Definitely Osterrand wins that one. Ollie LaRue might land a lucky shot. You know, he might be a little bit flashy, pull something out of the bag, where Osterrand is just going to put his head down and just want to go and kill you until he can't do it anymore.
Hey,
my money's on Os.
I think my gut feel says the same, but I do have to say that in a bar in the city of London, Ollie LaRue picked up my friend Fazy with one hand, held him against the wall, and kind of grunted in his face. And Fazy's not a hard guy. He tends to get knocked out in most fights he's ever been in, but I've never seen him shit his pants so badly. And he just kind of went white and kind of went still, and we all kind of tried to drag him off. And in the end, I can't remember who it was. One of the other teammates came and dragged him away. But yeah, we were just taking the piss, or Fazy was just taking the piss out of him. So I've seen him look pretty scary, but I think, you know, if it really come down to it, it'd go the other way.
Yeah, he's a scary man, but everyone's scary until they're in front of Osterrand, and then it's another story.
PJ, your go.
For some reason, I've still got this guy in my mind. I'm going to go Martin Johnson versus Lawrence Delalio.
Ooh. Rubs, where these guys from in England?
Well, Delalio's, you know, down south. Jono's more Midlands up north. But obviously Johnson played a lot of rugby growing up in New Zealand as well. You know, I love them both talisman in their own right. But for me, Jono's that rock in the middle there, and maybe he's not as quick, and he might not be able to move as well. But if he got his hands on Delalio, if it went to the ground as well, I think there'd only be one winner there for me, Jono.
Interesting. I beg to differ. I think Delalio has a bit more dog and fight in him. I think Delalio is a bit more rugged, and he didn't quit after 2003 World Cup. He carried on until 2007. And I think that says a lot in a man. So I think Lawrence. What do you think, PJ?
I think I tend to lean with Rubber on that one. I reckon Delalio's got a chance of landing also like something wild and dirty. But once Martin Johnson gets a hold of him, it's game over at that point. You'll just maul him.
You think so? Eh? I think he's just too much.
Yeah,
too much cat for the mouse. Too much dog for the for the rabies.
Never underestimate John. I've got a picture above my desk where I sit at work every day, and it's Johnson. He's got a hand out. He's playing for the Lions, and he's got 2 Australian props, 1 in each hand. He's a strong man.
Interesting.
I heard.
So if we had to take Martin Johnson forward and bring him up against maybe peers of his own, the likes of Etzebeth, the likes of Chris, Thorne from the All Blacks. Brad Thorne. Do you think he still sits in that same vein?
He's a hard man. Yeah, for me, one of the hardest men to ever play.
All right, so then Martin Johnson it is.
So still, while we're on Martin Johnson, I watched Rugby Joe. You know the one with what's his name? Fucking Haskell.
Yes,
and he was talking about. Yeah, he was talking about when he played at. I think it was when he played at Leinster, and he said all these Leinster boys. So like Martin Johnson, the guy who's the forward coach now for England, the prop. He named like 3 or 4 guys, and he said they're all from like Leinster or Leicester. I'm not sure which of the two. And he says they were just like Leicester. Yeah. He says they were just a different breed. Like they would like rock up on a Tuesday morning session and just want to smash everyone. Like he just said they were different animals. They loved the confrontation. They were just the Leicester guys were different. That's also why I backed Johnson on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But if you're talking about those second rows, I do like that fight. For me, you go back to that era before. There's only one player that bridged that amateur into professional era, which was Jason Leonard. But if you go back to that team there, I mean, that England team, in fact, led by Carling, one of the biggest softies. But that English pack had 5 or 6 policemen in it, and they were, they were spoiling for a fight. And to be fair, I saw a great after-dinner speech that Carling did, and he said, he came in, he was England captain, he was 23, he wanted to make an impact. And so the first thing he said, right, guys, we're kicking off to the right. And they came out, and Dooley had already had a word with Rob Andrew, and they kicked off left. And at half the time he asked why, and they said, well, we always kick off left, that's what we do. So he's thinking, how can I get the respect of these England forwards? And it was in the next game against Argentina. He just thought, fuck it, I'm going to punch the biggest guy I can. Early in the game, he did exactly that. And this big guy kind of grabbed him on the ground, and then he just heard this voice behind him, fuck off, Dago. And he looked around, and his fist came flying through and hit the Argentinian right in the face. And it was way Dooley. And he went, all right, Skip. And he said that's when he knew he got the respect of that England forwards. But those guys were way harder because they had to fight in those days.
Yeah. That's a cool story, eh?
Awesome.
Just a different type of game then.
Yeah, 4 pints, 5 pints before the game, and night before the game, and 15 pints, the night of it.
So here's another one. Going back to that era. So Sean Fitzpatrick versus Bismarck du Plessis. So you've got old versus new there. You've got tried and tested in Fitzpatrick, where they did fight in that area, where Bismarck, we haven't actually seen this guy in a fight.
It's simple. Bismarck. It's not a race.
I don't know. I think Fitzpatrick might throw something before Bismarck knows he's in a fight.
Maybe. But if we look at individuals, one is dressed like a coal miner that hasn't seen his family in 4 years, and the other is a specimen and an athlete who actually likes to roar. So I think it leans towards Bismarck.
Listen, I totally agree with you. I think they're both incredible rugby players, and obviously Fitzpatrick's a legend in his own right. But for me, Bismarck's one of my favourite ever players, and he is an absolute fighter as well. I think he knocked most people out, to be fair.
Yeah, he loves it, eh? He just seems so excited whenever it's about to kick off.
Can we just stop right there and stop talking about the fat boys, the piggies? Let's bring it to the back line sort of positioning.
Let's get the racehorses in here.
So 2 guys that always were neck and neck, and I always thought one stood head and shoulders above the other, but they were very closely contested. Josh Lucy versus Jason Robinson. Fantastic rugby players, World Cup winners. Who do you think?
A good one.
The chunk and cherry of Josh Lucy versus the elusiveness of Jason Robinson. Who do you think wins this fight?
That's a very hard one to call because I think they would be different fighters.
Yeah.
Be a featherweight fight. I mean, Josh was year rugby at junior rugby. He was very mouthy, very opinionated, and actually he got in a lot of shit when he first came through into the England team. People didn't like him. He was quite arrogant, and he actually got punched quite a few times in training. He had fights with his teammates, right? I think in the end they learned to like him. But Robinson's kind of good Christian man, not really a fighter. Neither of them are fighters. I don't think it'd be a fight. It'd be like loads of kind of flapping around. I wouldn't want to watch that. I wouldn't be
Rubs,
interested.
are you having a go at the backline players? Are you having a go at us? Because I'll step into your screen right now, bro. I'll step into your screen.
Will there be many of you?
So you reckon?
Yeah, for me, Robinson. I think Robinson will take it because he's quicker. But then again, Lucy was British Army trained officer, Sandhurst, etc. But I wouldn't want to watch that fight. I wouldn't want to watch it. And I am a back. I have to know.
I do know you're a back. I do know, but it's your latter performances that I'm going on.
We can't put either of those guys through, PJ. We can't put either of them through. Let's choose a hard back.
Oh, I've got one. Sterling Mortlock versus Marnonu.
I think Marnonu. I think there's just too much nugget. He's going to take him.
We're not got any Samoans or Fijians. They can fight in the backs.
Yeah.
No, we've got lots of South Africans that can fight in the backs. We don't just need Samoans and Fijians, bro. We've got the likes of Devet Berry. We've got the likes of James Small, the late James Small. We've got Butch James. We've got Rory Cockett, loved a bit of a scrap.
Yeah. Okay, well, talking about James Small then, what about Bentley against James Small? Take it back to 97 Lions. Those two were at each other the whole tour.
I actually haven't even seen that. I need to.
Rubs, you're going above our threshold here with Bentley. Can you just enlighten us?
John Bentley, British Rugby League player. He basically came over and made the 97 Lions squad, and he was a bolter. He was uncapped, and he came in. Yeah. He was obviously in South Africa. He wasn't picked to start with, but he started scoring tries in the midweek games and made his way into the Test team. But basically, the game before he was picked for the Test, it was against Small. And he put an up and under up early in the game and then absolutely walloped him. And that just kind of lifted everyone. And he got a hat-trick in that game and then, made the Test squad. But he's a real proper scrapper. Proper British, northern, hard winger. But I'd love to see them both go. So that would be a good fight.
I think that would be a good fight. James Moore out of Greenside, Johannesburg. I think,
Inside.
It wouldn't leave too many stones left unturned. Bentley sounds like an individual that played football for Tottenham Hotspur.
No, definitely not that. Yeah. Bentley actually came for years, J9, to Dubai, and he hosted our golf day up at Ranches. And, he cracked a joke straight away for years because Yurs was still there. And he was like, so nothing's changed. You've got all the hot chicks around you. Bang, straight in there with that. And they haven't seen each other since 97. Good lad.
Yes. And then have the fight of the fights in their primes. Bucky's Burta versus Eben Etzebeth. Who wins?
I think Etzebeth takes it. I think he takes it.
Why?
Bucky's, man.
I think Etzebeth has probably been in more fights. He comes from a family of debt collectors and wrestlers. Bucky's is a hard man from Vereniging. He's a hard Dutchman, but I think when it comes down to it, Etzebeth has got more dog experience, and he takes it.
You reckon? You're not going to deliberate a bit further on it? You're just going to say Etzebeth?
I think Etzebeth's got the speed. I think Etzebeth grabs him and just like
But prime, hey?
I think it's
prime versus prime.
That's what I was going to say. Think about his prime, but think about Bucky's in his prime. He was feared by everyone.
He was, and he was just. There was no comparison. He was just in his own league. Oof.
He used to smile when he hurt individuals. He loved it. He didn't play rugby to win on the scoreboard. He played rugby to hurt the individual.
Yeah, 100%. I'm still going with Etzebeth. That's my money's on Etzebeth in his prime. Etzebeth, he's got more experience, and I think he's been in more roles than Bucky's. I think Bucky's also, he would take on a big man here and there, but Bucky's would also bully anyone on a rugby field. I mean, headbutting. What was his name? Jimmy Cowan, All Black scrum half that one game.
Jimmy Cowan, yeah.
He was just a dirty. Etzebeth's the same, but I reckon Etzebeth takes him.
Rubs?
Bucky's for me. Maybe I'm old school, but I understand what you said about Etzebeth's background. I get all that, but Bucky's is just a hard man.
Yeah.
I think
this is a fight that I'd pay for.
I think there's no superior athlete in the Springboks that have come out in this modern era than Eben Etzebeth. He's just personified everything in terms of strength and conditioning and in terms of what you want in a tight forward. He obliterates everyone. I mean, the way he can run into a tackle and bounce the likes of Sam Whitelock, he's an animal. But what are we forgetting? This is not rugby. This is a fight. This is talking about tough men.
It's a fight. Like Bucky's will pick up a big glass ashtray and crack Etzebeth on the back of the head with it. He'll do anything to win.
Bucky's will do anything. There we go. He will play dirty tactics. He'll do anything to win. He won't play by the rules. He will bend them.
So will Etzebeth. You don't think Etzebeth will do the same?
Who's got more yellow cards? Who headbutts off the tackle? I think Etzebeth is just too clean for this conversation, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, but that's the modern game maybe as well. But
I think it's Bucky's Botha. Who's a better tight block? Eben Etzebeth, in my opinion. Who's a better fighter? Bucky's Botha.
So Mariska's bright for me tonight. We had this argument. We had the argument that Brian isn't any work because we had this argument making effort to clean and cook. I was like, well, I'm Brian every night. And she was like, well, Brian's lacquer. That's not a job. So she's bright tonight. And I think she's done pretty well. Let me show you guys here.
Don't do that.
Can you see that? Hold on.
You need to cancel your background, bro.
So we got some lamb chops, we got some chicken kebabs, and some broccoli and potato.
Well, you have to see tomorrow whether she can step it up a level and go one better. So that's a great first attempt, but let's keep it going for the week, yeah.
Okay, guys.
I agree. I mean, even a blind. What do they say? Even a blind dog is right once a day or something.
Bunch versus Mark Duplessis. Who wins?
Oh, Bismarck.
Why?
He can move better. He's better athlete.
Oss is still a little bit of a gentleman. Bismarck has got no gentleman in him. Better athlete.
Quicker
striker.
striker.
Takes him for sure. I mean, sorry.
Just remember, Oss comes from a town where there's, it's hard. Everything's hard. He might not have seen a dumbbell, but it's hard.
Thanks, Rubs. Thanks for the stories, man. That's awesome.
Are you cutting it there?
Hey? I'm with you, Kurt. I get where you're going. Bismarck for me.
Guys, I'm gonna have to exit because I'm gonna eat chow. I haven't eaten all day. I'm starving.
Oh, fuck.
Priorities.
All right.
Enjoy your food.
All right.
That's so useless.
Thanks, guys.
You're terrible.